Christa Beall-Dienfenbach, Assistant Director, Axelson Center for Nonprofit Management. Christa is not only the Assistant Director, she is also Executive Director of the American Humanics Program, where she is involved in educating the next generation of nonprofit leaders.
We've got the professional development arm, so those are programs that are geared toward people who are currently working for nonprofits or who are interested in working for nonprofits and want to develop skills and leadership capacities. So we do, in that area, we have an annual symposium. It's actually the largest management conference in the Midwest. It takes place in June of 2012. Downtown Chicago at the Merchandise Mart. We do a boot camp for new nonprofit CEOs. Actually, about 50% of the people who participate in our boot camp program are nonprofit CEOs who have transitioned from the corporate sector, and this is their first position at a nonprofit. They've never worked at a nonprofit before, and now they're leading one, which is why they end up at our boot camp, because they're going, you know, what is it with the culture of this organization? I thought, you know, this would be a cinch, and it really hasn't been quite as easy as what I had anticipated. So we help them work through those cultural differences between the corporate sector and the nonprofit sector. We also have graduate degrees and certificates in nonprofit management. That's both at, well, we have a certificate program so it's not an entire degree, but it's a graduate level certificate program. And then we do lower level if you're just interested in, you know, you don't want to commit to a whole nother degree. We have students who say, I've got 3 master's degrees, I really don't want another one. We do professional certificates in nonprofit management, so we really do try to offer the entire spectrum of nonprofit education so that, you know, if somebody's just wanting to learn how to write grants, they can go to a one-day workshop and get a great overview on grant writing. But if they really want to make a career move and want to know more about the nonprofit sector, then we offer more intensive programs in that area as well. However, we do offer all kinds of just free resources for those who are looking for jobs or looking to transition or who are interested in different areas of work. I think the most important thing that I would suggest is that you do some research into the sector. Our sector is so diverse. Several of the panelists have mentioned, you know, the difference between working at a $200,000 organization and working for a $100 million organization is so drastically different. The cultures of those organizations are going to be different, and you know, your skill sets may or may not transfer for one of those organizations. It may be that you're perfect for working for a small organization, or it may be that you're perfect to work at a larger organization. You really kind of need to know that about yourself so that as you're looking for job opportunities, you're looking for the ones that are the best fit based on your interest and your skills. So in doing that research, I mean, I actually always send people to npo.net. I am npo.net's biggest fan because I tell them, even if you're not looking for an actual job on there, let's say you're not ready to look for a job, or you know, there aren't any jobs that really you think you're eligible for, but what you can do is start to get a real sense of the kinds of positions that are available out there and the kinds of organizations that are hiring, and then find the one that seems to be a great fit. Like, I don't have the experience yet for this position, but this is what I want to do. And then you put together a plan of action of how it is that you're going to get this job, and try to find out, you know, what are the things, what are the positions I want, you know, or I'd be interested in, and then where can I fill in the holes? And fill in those holes by taking workshops, by doing informational interviews, especially with the people who have the position that you want. So if you want to be a program manager, then start doing informational interviews with program managers so that you can start to ask them what their job's like, their day-to-day activities. You can start to learn the culture, not just of the nonprofit sector, but of those specific positions and of that kind of organization. Because like I said, you know, the large organizations and small organizations are so drastically different. You know, it's hard to just paint us with this one brush. You really have to start to, you know, understand the differences of the kinds of organizations you want to work for and what kinds of cultures they might have. Probably the biggest thing is our orientations. Corporations are more outcomes oriented and nonprofits are more process oriented. What I mean by that is that corporations need to get, it's a race to get to point Z. They got to get there, and you got to get there fast, and you have to make a profit, right? That's kind of the, I mean, I know that's a little crass, but you know, that's the point, is that they're for-profit institutions, and the process isn't nearly as important as the outcome. It is the opposite in the nonprofit world. And the reason why is because if you rush to get to point Z and you're not bringing along your key stakeholders, then you're losing your volunteers, you're losing your board members, you're losing your donors, all the people who are absolutely critical to your mission. And once you've been in the nonprofit sector a while, you realize how hard it is to recruit new donors and new volunteers and great board members. And you need to have them come with you along the way, because when you get to point Z, they have to be on the bus, because if they're not on the bus, then you missed, you know, half of what you're trying to accomplish. So it's a complete difference. That's the reason why, you know, Linda said it seems like nonprofits, you know, move a little more slowly. We absolutely do. There aren't quick decisions. There aren't, you know, it's not this very efficient system. We're sometimes told by the corporate sector that, you know, we need to be more efficient. We need to do this and do that and be more like a corporation. All your problems would go away. Unfortunately, what we know is that's not true. Because like I said, if you get to the end point and you don't have your key stakeholders on board with you, then, you know, you're not nearly as far along as what you thought you would be. So